really know. I hope they have, and I hope we hear something encouraging soon, but I'm not aware of anything particularly encouraging right now. But I think it could be cart before the horse. I would argue that the Emory was valid, a couple decades ago in terms of fixing it up and making it work on a regular basis. But I'm not surprised that it has taken all these other things to happen to provoke the Emory. I know that it'll happen, but it bothers me every day that it's not open now. It should be open right now. So just keep asking that question. Any chance you get, whatever sphere of influence you operate in, or people you know, ask that question, push the envelope, because if it was open tonight, it would be full. And think about where it is, not just what it is, but where it is right now. At one time, it was considered to be the new home to the Contemporary Arts Center, but the chairman of that planning board for the new Contemporary Arts Center, when somebody talked about how wonderful it was and so forth and so on, he said, yeah, but that's north of Central Parkway, isn't it? And that was the end of the discussion.
Short-sighted.
So, but right now, that's where the action is. It's right in the middle of all this wonderment, and it's across the street from the Art Academy. They would use it, since the CCM has said in the past that they would use it. Probably Harvey, when he was here, said that on occasion for something unique to the symphony, he would use it. Evans Mirages from the opera said the same thing about the opera. I mean, there are just all kinds of users, not to mention the Queen City version of Boston City Limits.
Absolutely. Here's another question.
Hi, I was just wondering, as a crucial music promoter for Cincinnati's music scene, I was just wondering what changes or major developments you thought you would like Cincinnati create to help it grow or return back to its height as a music city.
Well, that would be, just not to be repeating myself all the time, but I can't think of one thing. The program of music that I think the Emory would bring out would give us a venue, a focal point, because it's not just that theater, but that's a huge complex there that has all kinds of other spaces that could be used for other things, for studios, for galleries, etc. And if you think about where it is, I mean, look at Coffee Emporium, just as an example. I think Coffee Emporium is very well done, but it's not the only one of its kind. I think, and they've been very astute in where they've run it, but where it is a huge part of its success, I think. I don't know of a bigger coffee house anywhere. And a lot of it's just because of where it is. So the Emory's in the right location right now. Not to mention if Kroger were to get it one day and put a Kroger store across the street where that big parking lot is next to their international headquarters. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have another question here.
Hey Jim, I had a chance to live up in Cleveland for a couple of years, and they really leveraged that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to bring a lot of tourism and folks to town. Could we do something similar to that with the museum you were talking about with the King Records? And could you just talk a little bit more about what that might lead to come out?
The King Records Museum Board is meeting on a regular basis, and it's all the right ideas in terms of having a history of music in Cincinnati with special emphasis on King as the mission statement. But it's got to get going. It's been meeting now for 2 years, and it's got to get going. Whether it's that or something like it, I would, if I had my choice of any project, it would be the Emory. I would do the Emory, and what that would do in terms of bringing in live music that we don't have right now, because we don't have a venue like that, and where it is, and what else could happen there in the other spaces. The museum could be there. The history of music in Cincinnati Museum could be right there in those other spaces.
That's a great idea, because that right there is a draw, aside from who you might book in there.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to in any way dismiss what what is happening here. I mean, this place is happening, and Fountain Square has been incredible the way it has changed. Not so much because of the way it was redesigned. The old design worked pretty well, but it wasn't programmed. And that decision to change the way it's programmed and make it more entrepreneurial, more inclusive, et cetera, has been huge for this city. And if you go down, if you went down to the dedication of the Riverfront Park next to the Lager House, the Christian Moran Lager House, Friday night, that's another window into where we're going. It was packed. It was an incredible, beautiful mix of people of all shapes and sizes, colors, and there was a significant African American planning component to that, which has not been very common in this city, and we've got a lot to look forward to if we do more of that. And that's now, I think, working its way over to Washington Park. You're going to see a similar approach. The same people who did Fountain Square are going to be doing Washington Park. It's not exactly the same people doing the riverfront, but similar. So now you've gone from 1 to 3 venues that are all outstanding physical venues that are both their location and the way they've been put together. If you haven't seen Washington Park lately, it's going to be amazing. It's just gorgeous. And they have not just one music venue like we've had historically with the gazebo, but now they've got that amphitheater and that wonderful great lawn for doing much more extensive live music events there. We're doing a lot here. We don't ever dismiss the importance of what we are doing here. We can and should do more, and I would say we need to publicize what we are doing better. If you picked up Sunday paper last Sunday, you saw that insert about what's going on in Louisville, you kind of go, whoa. Now, if we weren't doing something like that in their paper, you know, we're crazy. We need to be doing that. We don't do enough of that. And I think it's not as much a part of our culture as it needs to be with entities like the Chamber of Commerce. And whereas it is there in Louisville, Portland, Minneapolis. You know, it'd be interesting to see what these folks that are coming here tonight from Minneapolis, some old friends of the days, are planning tonight. If they had a few days and mess around in Cincinnati, see what they think. But I know some folks that are friends of ours that just came back from Minneapolis. They were absolutely astounded with the public art. And there it is part of the culture. The fine arts, the corporations don't give to an organization like the Fine Arts Fund or Arts Wave, who then in turn decides when and where there's going to be some public art. They do it directly. It is part of the culture. If you run a business, you know that it's part of your responsibility to sponsor directly public art. And it's everywhere, apparently. And we need to be doing that here. To have the chairman of the board of the Chamber of Commerce of Greater Cincinnati not only not being the leading advocate, but being an antagonist in the development of the streetcar is absolutely unforgivable, unacceptable. So things like that have got to change. You know, some of those major marketing, public relations organizations we have here have to, take the lead, and we got to push it.